Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting in another episode of the Whatever Report, where I ramble on Saturday and folks hang out with me. We talk comics, we talk whatever. And we just have a good time. So I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. I have my man GT Key in here tailgating early. Hopefully he'll be back soon if he's not already. And my man Gordon saying happy Easter to everybody. What is going on, Gordon? I hope you are well and your family is doing well. We are hanging out. Tomorrow's Easter Sunday. I don't really have any big plans. I kind of got together with the family last week and probably again here soon. So, yeah, we're just hanging out on a Saturday evening, having a little sip. Got a bunch of stuff to go through and talk about, actually, because I didn't do this last week. So let's just get started here with what are we drinking? I am working on, got a couple of pours already. We're going to try to kill this here. We got like one more pour left. This James E. Pepper Cantor series. I really enjoyed this bottle. This was batch 10. I've heard that maybe the newer batches are not quite as good as some of the earlier ones, but I don't know. We'll see when I have to eventually get a refill. So, let's see. Unruly is here. What is going on, sir? Happy Easter to you as well. Happy Easter. So that is what we're sipping tonight. Where do I want to go first? You know what? Just so I don't forget, Unruly is here. We will start right at the beginning so people see it. I will do a reminder again, but I'm going to shout out my members. There's the right slide. Oh, but I need to get the little banner off so we can see everybody. These are my channel members. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to them. Bear Island, Old Wolf, Bunny Ray, Circumstances, Unruly, Ben Compton, Nerdy Geek, Chucky Valdez, Exhibit, Blue Collar Dan, Plenty of the Younger, Lisa Noble, He Remains, and Daymares for all being members of my channel. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong thing to make them go away. I don't want them to go away, but to make them not be on the screen. So those have all been members were members by the 1st of April, which means that this month what's coming up on the channel is I'm doing a giveaway. You guys actually, I had enough members that I actually got more from memberships than it takes to cover StreamYard. So if I get more from memberships than it takes to cover StreamYard, I'm going to try to put that back into a giveaway for those members. And Perry, what's going on, sir? And last month I had enough, so this month you guys are getting a giveaway. We'll see if that continues going forward. I know some of those were gifted memberships, but hopefully at least a few of them stay, or maybe I'll pick up some others. But so the giveaway will not be this week. I'm not sure what day I will do. I'm not sure exactly what day it's going to be. Somewhere right around the end of the month. It may be next Saturday, depending on how my weekend goes next week. If I get to do a whatever report, I'm not 100% sure. Or it may be later. We'll see. It says I don't have very good Wi-Fi. Am I good? Am I freezing for you guys? It's saying my Wi-Fi is very, very wimpy. So we will see. We will see. But we are giving a giveaway. And since this month was a little bit, we did a bunch of Catwoman related stuff. I did her for the Let's Collect right at the beginning of the month. And then I had a couple other videos that I was doing. Thank you, Gordon. From that information that I thought were fun that I wanted to do. So we're giving away a little Catwoman themed box. First up, one of my favorite reads from the last couple of years, hardcover trade, unopened, of Catwoman Lonely City by Cliff Chang. I really enjoyed this read. I thought it was great. I'm getting weird Google updater things happening. Hopefully my computer doesn't just try to update. I don't know what's happening. That's why my Wi-Fi was being weird. Hopefully you're all still there. We'll see. So we're going to give away a copy of Catwoman Lonely City. And then with that, I had a couple of extra copies of Catwoman #1 and #2 from the Jim Ballant 90s Catwoman run that I'm going to give away in that box. And we'll see. I may throw something else in, but that is my plan, at least, to give those away along with that Catwoman Cliff Chang. So that's going to be, members are going to be available for that. And I will give that away. Not that many members, so you got a good chance of winning if you're a member. So, but yeah, we will give that away either next Saturday during this show, or I may have to do a separate live if I'm not able to do it Saturday. I may have to do it at another time. I'm not sure. So we will see. But I will get it done somewhere by either next Saturday, or I may wait till the first Saturday of May. We'll see. All right. Yeah, so that is one of the things coming up on the channel. Other things coming up on the channel. Well, let's start with stuff I've already done. I did drop the third of the 3 Catwoman videos on Thursday, which was like history of her in the Golden and Silver Age and her appearances. I thought it was fun and interesting. I've got a few views, so hopefully I think a few of you did enjoy that. I thought it was interesting with why she disappeared and all that kind of stuff, and like what her appearances were. I'd found a few things I didn't know as I was digging through the keys and stuff for her. So hopefully you guys found that interesting and useful. So we did that. We did a read on Fear Agent last week. Obviously, I put out my look back video this morning. Tomorrow night, I should be over on White Wolf's channel playing D&D. Oh, wait, no, it's Easter Sunday. We're not playing. That's right. We talked about that last week because people had stuff going on. So actually, Alec was like, wasn't because of Easter, it was because of WrestleMania. But was why we weren't playing. But there was also Easter stuff. So yeah, no D&D tomorrow, Gordon. Sorry, I forgot about that. But so yeah, no D&D tomorrow night. But Monday I should be back with Marcus doing Cash or Trash, and then Wednesday this week we are back. We've moved on to the second omnibus. We are going to be talking 100 Bullets with John and Daymares on Wednesday. And then probably Thursday, the next Let's Collect should come out. I think it'll be Thursday. And yeah, it should be out Thursday. I might get it done in time to get it out Tuesday. We'll see. See how much progress I make tomorrow. I'm close to be getting where I can actually start like recording it and stuff, but not quite. So, hey, Kenneth Bird, what is happening, sir? Glad to see you. But yeah, so the next Let's Collect, and that was decided by one of the perks is for my highest tier members, my Nightwing tier members, Daymares and He Who Remains. They get to. I asked them who they wanted, and Daymares didn't say, and He Who Remains gave me a couple of options, and so he got to choose who the next Let's Collect was. So there you go. So one of the perks of being in that tier, I guess I need to ask him. I got another poll I need to ask him too here soon. So, but yeah, so Let's Collect this week and 100 Bullets this week. And yeah, we did the Catwoman book last week. And then we got, obviously, giveaway coming. Shoot, I'm going to put this back over here. Other stuff coming up. This is a little further out, but let me move that stuff there. I will be, John and Mars were talking about this morning on his show because they were talking about related to Jen, but John and I are reading the Batwoman omnibus that's kind of the omnibus we're reading for April, and we're going to talk about not this coming Wednesday, but the last Wednesday of the month. So I have dove in and started reading that as well. So that's coming up, but that'll be on John's channel. All right. Let's move into what we picked up this week. This is really what I picked up over like the last 2 weeks because I didn't do a video last week. I didn't do a Let's Collect last week. Put that over there. And I had, so you guys know, well, let's start with stuff that came in, and then we'll get into like my new comic books. So I did have another order come in. Obviously, I'd ordered another copy of Lonely City that I'm giving away, and then I had 3 other trades come in with that order. I got Fables, volume 16. They went back and written some more Fables 2 years ago. I think is when they started that. So we got 11 more issues of Fables. So I got the new final hardcover to go with my Fables stuff. So I got that. I have not read that yet. So I got that to dive back into, and really should be happy with that. I picked up not necessarily the Omni I want for this character. I've never read a ton of this character. I've read some. I've read mostly the Charles Soule run, but John and I went back and read the Omni for the original Miss Marvel run. I was actually looking for either her second series or the Spider-Woman's first series, but neither of those are in print at the moment. So I got the Omni for the Savage She-Hulk for her original run of 25 issues from the 70s. Never read this. So I added this to my omnibus collection. Thought it would be a fun read at some point. So I got that added to my stack. And then another Captain Marvel Omni. I have now, obviously I have that 70s Miss Marvel Omni, but then I got her Kelly Sue DeConnick Omni over there. And now I got the first of the two Kelly Thompson Omnis for her 50-issue run, which I have almost all the issues for. But yeah, I grabbed this to add to my collection. I actually ordered 2 other books with this order, but they have not shipped yet. So from In Stock Trade. Sometimes they do that. They'll split them apart. So that came in, and then everything else that came in. And then we'll do that in a second. My new comics came in when you guys were here last 2 weeks ago. Let's see. I was waiting on an order that was overdue from Midtown. That order finally came like that Monday or Tuesday, and then this order from this past Wednesday came today, and I have read all but one of these now, so I'm completely caught up on my new comic book reading as of today, and I got 4 weeks. So this is basically 4 weeks worth of new comics. So you guys see, I have cut back quite a bit on my new comics that I'm buying. So let's start, and we'll do some reading. So these are from all the last 4 weeks. So some of these are old, you guys have seen, but we're going to talk about the only book that I have not read from this stack is the one High Republic book I got that came in this, just because I'm way behind on High Republic. So that I'm just permanently behind on that. Someday I'm going to go through and get caught up, but I need to get a couple of the books and some other stuff before I read that. We're going to start with what was the super highly anticipated book. Like you guys were wanting me to talk about it like 3 weeks ago. It's been like a month. It's been out for like a month. I think the second issue of this is coming out like maybe next week. But I finally got it I got it last Tuesday and read it. I heard a bunch of criticism that it was crap, that it was awful. And so there was a lot of like hate for this book, but we did pick up just the A cover of Batman 158, Hush 2. I have Junkyard Joe, Nightwing, Seven Argument, Bone Bears, Convenient, and Root. Nice, from Insect Trades. Yeah, this is where those hardcovers came from, was Insect Trades. And then they had 2 others that are coming. So my thoughts on the first issue of Hush 2. It's all over the place. I don't want to say, I heard some people say that it was terrible, that it was not good, but it was not good, not because because it wasn't coherent is the reason it was not good. It did not, I feel like their goal was to kind of confuse the reader about what's going on, who's doing what, who's behind this. And they did too. They did too good a job, because it didn't. There wasn't a solid through thread even through the issue. It jumped around. Bruce almost got taken out by the Joker, without even a fight at the beginning, and then the Joker gets taken out, and this is not a very good setup. There's no way around it. Obviously, Jim Lee art. This is Jim Lee art. Talia looks fantastic. Babs looks fantastic. The characters all look cool. But this was almost incomprehensible. What the heck is going on? I think they wanted it to be what is happening? What is going on? But they didn't do a good enough job of giving you the proper threads to follow, in my opinion. So yeah, this was not very good overall as an issue. I wouldn't say like I don't think it means that the series can't be good. But yeah, they got some work to do. They got some work to do. It left something to be desired. That's all I will say. It left something to be desired. Art was fantastic, always is with Jim, but not sure where Jeff is going with this. I will say, a couple years ago when I reread Hush One, it went from being one of my all-time favorite Batman stories to being like not in the top 5, barely maybe in the top 10 anymore. It's not as the plot. There's some serious plot holes in that thing, and they kind of set that up again here. That there's some. I know. It was. I'm not saying that they're going to be able to do it. I'm saying I'm just not ruling out that they can. But yeah, the first issue was a bit of a mess. Okay, it wasn't a bit of a mess. It was a mess. Let's just get to it. Detective Comics. We got the wrap up of the first arc from Tom Taylor on Detective Comics. I'm a big Tom Taylor fan. I've liked a lot of his stuff that I've read. And so this first arc on Detective, overall, I would say was a little disappointing for me. I think it was a solid arc. I enjoyed it. I was hoping for a little more from Taylor. I am curious how limited they're going to be to let him play. I mean, he's clearly setting up more with this group that was kind of behind all this that we see kind of at the end of the issue. The thing with Joe Chill's daughter and ex-wife was fine. It didn't work as well as it needed to. I mean, it was a good Batman story. I was hoping for a little bit more. As much as he did for Nightwing, I was hoping for a little bit more. But we'll see. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was good, but like his Nightwing run was fantastic. His all-new Wolverine run was fantastic. I thought his run on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that they only let him write for a very short period of time was fantastic, and they cut him off, and he left and went to DC exclusively, and so I'm still hopeful, but yeah, it was just okay. Nightwing, speaking of, Dan Waters continues his run. I feel like I missed something, or maybe I forgot something, because I felt like we were in one place, and this issue picked up slightly further along. I'm not sure. They make it as Public Enemy #1. I got him here with Maggie Sawyer on the cover, who's been like police chief, police inspector, in Metropolis and Gotham, and now Bloodhaven. So she's bounced around in her career. They're not really fighting. This cover is not really accurate to what's going on in the book. We seem to have moved away from the last arc without, like, we seem to be starting a different story, but we didn't really get the conclusion of the last story. So I was a little confused. I don't think I missed an issue, missed reading an issue. I may have to go back and look after I read this today, because this is one of the books that came today. I need to go back and look at 24, because I felt like we were going to pick up at one place, and we didn't really pick up there. So, I mean, the issue as a whole was fine. It was good. Like, the Dan Waters stuff has been solid. Nightwing, it's a big step back from the Tom Taylor Nightwing, but it's been solid. But yeah, I'm a little confused. I feel like either I missed something or we jumped away from something that seemed kind of important to just skip away from that far. So we will see. We will see where it goes. But I may have to go back and reread 24. Maybe I'm missing or forgetting something. But it continues to be pre Tom Taylor Nightwing got where even I was like, I don't know if I can keep reading this. This is not that. This is solid, just not great. Catwoman number. What number are we on? What is this? What issue is this? Also number 75. There you go. Or no, his is 125. This is 75. I got the Frank Show cover because yeah, I got the Frank Show cover. So we got now this one jumped, but it made sense the way they jumped it because they jumped back to tell the story that kind of sets, like, we've been with Selena on this in Europe, and clearly she's trying to clean up something that happened in her past. She's dealing with people that know her as Evie. This is something that happened when she was younger under a different persona. And so she's been dealing with the fallout. Now, this issue was, like, last week she got, like, basically knocked out. This is a flashback to see, like, what were the events that set this up, because we hadn't got to see them yet. This was good. I've enjoyed. This is so much better. I know there's a few people in the community that like the Teenie Howard portion of the Catwoman run. I hated it. I really enjoyed the Joel Jones. I really enjoyed the Ron V. I despise the Teenie Howard, and this I'm liking. It's not Joel Jones good, but it's good. So yeah, it's a little different. She's not in Gotham. There's none of the usual characters around her, but this has been solid storytelling so far, and this issue was good. So, all right, let's keep moving here. We're 20 minutes in. I still got a couple of comics and some other stuff to discuss. So, Black Canary, Best of the Best, number 5. The fight continues. We got one more of these. We get to see more history with Dinah and her mom. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Glad you stopped by for a minute, John. So glad you stopped by for a minute. We've not gotten there yet. So, this has been good. I've enjoyed this series. I don't know if it's a series I'll keep. Like, these may be books I eventually just move along, that I don't necessarily keep in my collection. I've enjoyed it. It's been good. The stuff with Dinah and her mom has been fantastic. The fight's just okay. It's too WrestleMania, not enough actual fight for me. Like, the way they've played it out. And I get, from a visual storytelling standpoint, it works better if they're doing ridiculous wrestling moves than if they're just, like, doing MMA moves. I get it. The leaping and flipping and doing all this crazy crap you see in a wrestling match, which I loved when I was of the appropriate, and I should say appropriate age, when I was, a teenager in my 20s. I love that I've moved away from it, not because it's just because. For me, that takes me out of the fight portion. The mother-daughter stuff, fantastic. The fight portion, not as great. One more issue. Hopefully Tom King sticks to landing on this, but it's been good. I've really enjoyed it, but yeah, I don't know if it's something I'll need to keep later. So, a book starring the same character. We have Birds of Prey, number 21, or number 20, excuse me, starting a new arc here. See, they appear to be trying to take out Barda. I had, other than the Tom King Mr. Miracle run, I had never read Barda before the series started. I love Big Barda. I think she showed up a few times in, like, some Justice League stuff I'd read. Like, briefly, side character. She is easily my favorite part of this book. There's a whole interaction where they're getting ready to send them on missions. Barbara's, like, getting ready, assigning where they're going, and she tells Barda that she's going to the United Arab Emirates, and she's like, so, like, Dubai? And she's like, well, sort of, only worse. And Barda's like, great, I'll wear my bikini. And Barbara's like, no. And she's like, you're no fun. And Barbara's response was like, you're no fun. And she's like, if your idea of fun is you causing an international incident while punching people in a bikini, if that's your idea of fun, then yes, I'm no fun. So, I mean, Barda is fantastic in this book. They use Cass so well in this book. Sin is a character relatively new to me that also is used well. Like, I've enjoyed this interaction. This group with Barda and Cass added to Barbara and Dinah, and then Sin hanging around, and then occasionally other people coming in and out. Oh, it's been great. Kelly Thompson has crushed this. The second arc was a step back, but the first arc, the last arc, anytime Barda is on the page, this book shines. It's all there is to it. It is so good when Barda is on the page. Bad Girl number 6. I told you I got a big stack here. I got through all of these, so we're gonna go through these. We'll try to keep these brief. We continue the arc here of Cass and her mom, Lady Shiva, fighting these monks that Shiva basically pissed off that are trying to kill her and a bunch of other people. They've been captured. The mother-daughter stuff in here has been really, really good. Cass's conflicted emotions when it comes to Shiva. You can see Shiva's conflicted emotions when it comes to Cass. She doesn't know how to talk to her daughter. Her daughter doesn't know how to talk to her. But you see a side of Shiva that you don't get to see very often. Like, much better than what you see of her. She's very one note in the Black Canary Best of the Best. This book is really good. Obviously, we'll see what happens. I don't necessarily believe the last page of this, but we will see where this goes from here. But this has been really good. I've really enjoyed this. I have a soft spot for Cassandra Cain. So another book that's been really, really good right out the gate here. We're 3 issues in to this new Zatanna run by Jamal Campbell. I forget who the artist is on the. It's one of the. Is this Ji Hung Lee? Ji Hung Lee, I think, did this Zatanna cover, and yeah, I had to get that one. I'm a sucker. I still don't know enough about the magic side of the DC universe, and I'm not sure who the main villain is here. That we meet him here, but I'm not 100% sure who it is. Obviously, this white woman has been an antagonist. They've done something to Z that's messing with her magic, and she can't figure out how to fix it. She has this magical sword through her chest that is messing with her ability to use magic. Every time she uses magic, it's causing her pain. It's making it worse. And it's messing with her ability to actually cast the spell she's trying to cast. There's some weird stuff in this one going on with Clayface, and like that she's sucked into this alternate magically created space. This book is really, I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I don't know what's going on, but I'm enjoying it. I'm obviously a sucker for, Zatanna, and yeah, this is great. This book has been really, really good so far. Poison Ivy, we're up to, what are we up to? 32. I think this was just the A cover this time. I think I just got the A cover this time. There wasn't like a Frozen variant or something that I jumped on. She's trying to play peacemaker between the gray and the green. She's trying to rid the swamp that she's living in of this creature in this one. She's trying to protect Janet from HR, who Janet's keeping a secret from her. This book continues to be... I'm so glad that the first arc was so good and so well received that DC let G. Willow Wilson run with this book. I'm so happy that this went from, it was going to be 6, then it was going to be 12, and then it became ongoing. It was going to be a 6-issue mini, then it was going to be a 12-issue mini, and then it became an ongoing. We're up to 32. Continues to be one of the better things that I read every month. Yeah, it's just really, really good. All right, main event. Not on my thumbnail. I thought about putting it on my thumbnail. I did not. Ryan will probably be mad at me when he comes back. Oh, no, not to the main event. We got one more book. Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman, number 6. Start of her second story arc. This Wonder Woman gets sucked to hell and has to deal with Hades. This is the best issue so far. This was the best issue, I think, so far of this run. Obviously, gorgeous Frozen cover. Her dealing with Hades. The gods basically, she's basically, the Amazons are not supposed to, she exists, but the Amazons are supposed to be done. She was not supposed to go to man's world, leave hell. she did, obviously, in the first 5 stories. We see her to fight this creature. And now she's having a showdown with Hades. So this should be an interesting arc. I'm enjoying this. Also, Kelly Thompson. Yeah, this was really good. I think this was my favorite issue so far. Now the main event of my new books. Yeah, I've been talking for like 10, 12 minutes. So we have 2 issues of Wonder Woman to talk about. We're going to spend most of the time on this one. So we wrapped the Sovereign storyline, and we finally, the one thing I've been like a little disappointed in this was that we had not, in the very first issue, we set up this other Amazon who was clearly pregnant that I had assumed I assumed early in the book was going to be Trinity's actual mother, and that Diana just raised her. That did not turn out to be the case, and we never really went back to this Amazon. Like, what the heck happened to her? We get the finale with Sovereign, and we get the finale we get to find out what's going on. That there's more coming with this other Amazon. So setting up future arcs here, and yeah, this was excellent. Tom King nailed it. It was so good. The way Diana handles him in their final confrontation, the way Trinity handles him during their conversation. Chef's kiss. If you have not been reading this, so I'll just give you an example. Like, my sister went to C2E2. I didn't get to go because I wasn't mobile enough yet. She took my nephew. They went by. Tom King was there. I told her to go by. That he had that. The favorite thing in comics right now is Wonder Woman. She bought the first 2 trades, had him sign them, and went home and read them. That night, she read through both of them and was like, I'm trying to figure out what issues I now need to get caught up. How far are we in? I'm like, well, the next trade doesn't come out till next month. But I was telling her, like, she was hooked. She loves it. I'm telling you, this book is fantastic. It just is. The ending of this arc was fantastic. And then I got to read today, 20, this team up of Batman and Wonder Woman. Ares is dead. Hippolyta appears to be guilty. Batman and Wonder Woman are trying to figure it out. We get some great interaction between the 2 of them. Their friendship, which is at times has been hinted at more. They hint at it that there's sort of more, but not really. Like, they both could have went this path. They both didn't go this path. And it's basically the way this lays it out. And they did that kind of during the Tom King. Tom King did kind of a similar thing during the run with them both, like, in the lead up to the wedding, where, plays on this fact that they clearly love each other, like, but more as, but it's more friendship love than it is love, but both of them feel like it could have been if it hadn't been for Steve and it hadn't been for Selena. Like, if they didn't feel committed elsewhere, that they potentially would have been something. And like, this is that's played here a little bit. It's just really well done. Tom King continues to just destroy this book. It's so good. Read it. It's awesome. I think this is just a 2-part team up, and then we go into the next arc, which I think picks up the whole thing that we saw at the end of 19. So yeah, Wonder Woman continues to be fantastic. I'm 34 minutes in. I haven't talked about the book that is my thumbnail yet. So, which John talked about, I finished the 3rd book of the Throne of Glass series over a week ago now. Like, I would have talked about it last week if I'd done a show. Best book so far. So I've read best Sarah J. Maas book I've read so far. I read the first 3 books of The Court of Thorn and Roses, which is basically one, like, you could easily end there if you don't want to go back to that universe. I will go back eventually for books 4 and 5, but book 4 is like little short stories set with those characters, and then book 5 is kind of kicking off a new thing, more focus on one of the sisters than on Feyre. This story about Selena, so this is the 6th total book I've read by her. Easily the best book of the 6. I said from the beginning that the Throne of Glass world works for me. Selena works for me as a character better than Feyre. The world works for me. The story itself, like the plot and the setup and everything, I'm enjoying it more. The thing that had been lacking in this series compared to the other series was the supporting cast around our protagonist. They were not nearly as well. Can you read that? You can read this series, the Throne of Glass series. You do not need the Court of Thorns and Roses for. You do not. It is a separate thing. Separate heroine, separate continents. Like, I guess if you read enough, they say that like you can find ties between the worlds, but they're like people are reading between the lines, like, oh, this is like that and that. This is a completely different area, different rules related to fae and creatures and all that kind of stuff. At least best on we can do. It's still like there is zero smut in these books. I'm 3 books in. There's none. This is not. I know the author is called like fairy smut because I have no idea why. This series has none so far. Zero. Zilch. Nada. It is not. There's not. So if you're looking for smut, this ain't your book. If you're looking for fantasy, this book is great. So yeah, the weakness of the series had been for me her supporting cast, Kale and Dorian. No. I have not enjoyed those characters. I will say when we jumped to them in this book, Dorian in particular and his new little nurse that was taking care of him was, I don't know. It just didn't, that part of the story did not. Anytime we move away from Selena, it's not as good. Or Aelin, as we're going through this, but like anytime you move away from Selena, it's not as good. But we got new characters in this book. We expanded our world a little bit. We got another potential antagonist. We actually got a couple of new potential antagonists. So basically, there's going to be some spoilers here, not a huge amount, but in the end of book 2, Selena basically has to leave. She goes to another continent, and while there, she's trying to recruit help. She's trying to get help. And on this continent, magic still works, so she can use her powers. So we get to see her trying to really, for the first time since she was a child, when she lost her magic and she's denied who she is, find herself again. It's really what this book is about. It's about her finding who she actually is. She's taking on the persona of Selena since she was a little girl and bad things happened to her. And she was the only survivor. And in this book, we get to see her take steps toward being who she is. So there's a spoiler. So like that she's Aelin. And her story arc here is fantastic. It's well paced. Her trainer, Ronan, is like so much better than either Kale or Dorian as a character. Like, I enjoy him a lot. I enjoy their interactions so much more. Rowan, sorry, I said Ronan. Rowan is so much better as a character. Their dynamic is much more interesting and fun than her and Kale were. I'm not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan of Kale. He's, but we also get to, while they're there, she also has to deal with Maeve, who is the queen of the Fae, who is not so nice. Technically her great aunt. And yeah, there's potential antagonists there. There's a lot going on here with Selena on this other continent. Meanwhile, we also meet some new characters back. We get to meet her cousin, who was supposed to be her protector, appears to be a traitor. He's still alive. He's a general for the king that is supposedly suppressing his family. And we get to meet Aiden. I'm calling him Aiden. I don't know if that's the proper pronunciation. To me, where is it? Aedion. Aiden. Aiden is like the easiest way to, for me to, this is what I went with. Aiden is maybe I won't say my second favorite character, the best of the male characters I met so far in this book. Because Mort still exists, and a character I haven't talked about still exists, but how complicated he is, like he carries the sections with Kale and Dorian in this book, particularly Kale. Aiden is a great character, really interesting, really well written. I cannot wait for their reunion because that's going to be shit's going to go down. Like that's going to be really cool because he had assumed all this time that Selena was dead. Well, Aelin was dead. So he learns through the course of this that she's not. We get a little more with the rebels, like who these people are, what they're really trying to accomplish, how disorganized they are, how they're looking for just any sort of hope, and how they're still kind of dedicated to. They just need someone to lead them, and so that's very interesting. Through their interactions and what's going on in and around the city, the Rifthold where the Throne of Glass is, we also get to see just how evil the king is and just the kind of crazy stuff that he is using in his mad grasp for power, the darkness that he is unleashing, despite the fact that his ancestors are the ones that put it away, that he just so he can be in charge. And yeah, the end of this book, what he does to his own son. Yeah, he is as evil as they come. And yeah, it's really well done. But yeah, we get a training arc with Aelin and Rowan. We get palace intrigue with Kale and Aiden and Dorian. We meet some other rebels. There's some good stuff there. And then we meet a random. We had met a witch. We've heard about the witches in the first two books. We met one witch, Baba Yellowlegs, in book 2. And we meet the witches, the Iron Teeth witches, which are all considered very evil. They're in league with the king, and they are training. The king has offered them a deal, and they are training to ride wyverns in his army to basically help him suppress everybody that's against him. And through this, we meet Mannion, a witch who is the heir to one of the witch tribes, and she is amazing character. She is not nice. But she is also, through the course of this book, seeing that she's maybe more than what she's been told, and maybe that what her grandmother and that they're just pure evil is not necessarily there. She's slowly rising the ranks and also awakening to what's really real around her and how she really feels about stuff and the person she wants to be and the leader she wants to be. And that's all really well done. Anytime with Mannion was fantastic. So yeah, this book was great. I'll talk it in more detail. I think I'm going to try to join John and Bearded and Big O for their next Court of Beards and Bourbon, where they talk Air of Fire. I'm not sure. We haven't scheduled it yet. I think everyone's read it, Bearded, so we're waiting on him. John finished it today. I finished it a week or so ago. Still waiting on Greg. It's a fantastic book. I'm really, really enjoying it. As a result, I already had technically the fourth book is kind of a prequel series of short stories. You're supposed to read it after this book before you read the others. I already had it. Assassin's Blade, but I did pick up the last 4 books of the series came this week also. The Queen of Shadows, which is after Assassin's Blade, I think. Empire of Storm and Tower of Dawn, which is, golly, look, I mean, they're getting thick. And then this was like, most of these are all between 600 and 700 pages. This one is 900 pages. Kingdom of Ash, the big finale. Yeah, so I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's finish this. I'm in. I'm hooked. I'm down. We're reading more. We're reading fairy smut, except it's not smut at all. It's just good fantasy. It's just good fantasy. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I like Selena as a character. I like this world a lot. I now enjoy more of the surrounding characters than I did before. They're gonna have to do some work to make me, because I think the Tower of Dawn is mostly focused on Kale, and they're gonna have to do some work to make me want to read that one. But yeah. So I think I ran everybody off by talking it, but that's okay. Anybody that's still here have anything they want to talk about? Let's see. Yeah. So looks like I have a very quiet crowd. I started talking about this, and yeah, only person commenting in the last 25 minutes is Tacoma. So I apparently ran everybody else when I started talking about reading. So hey, that's what happens sometimes. While I'm here, waiting to see if you guys got anything else you want to talk about. I will once again thank my members real quick. Thanks to all of those folks. Because they were all members in March, we're doing a giveaway at the end of April. I showed that giveaway earlier. We'll show it one more time. We're going to give away, I did some Catwoman. I have the Catwoman themes this week in several of my pre-recorded videos. So we're going to give away a hardcover copy of Catwoman Lonely City. A really good read. One of the better reads I've done in the last couple of years. And then 2 copies of, or not 2 copies, but 2 issue 1 and 2 of Jim Balance 90s Catwoman run. So those will be included as well. So yeah. So that is what anybody will get. Have I seen Wolverine? Have I seen Wolverine 8 Daniel variant? I have not, Alan. The giveaway is for members. So members, so anybody that's a member by the end of this month, or well, probably by next Saturday, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to do it Saturday. If I can, that's when I'm going to give the books away. But anybody that's a member when I do the giveaway will be, if you're a Robin tier member, like from those I will pick, like I'll roll, you get a chance to be in the final drawing, and then you're automatically entered if you're a Titans tier, and you get 2 entries if you're a Nightwing tier to give that away, because you guys, I had enough members to more than cover StreamYard last month. So because I got to that point, I'm taking a little bit, and I actually spend a little more than that, but like I'm giving away, I will do a member giveaway. And so anytime that I get above, so if I get above again this month, what it takes to cover StreamYard, I will do a giveaway. So that is something that I will, and I'm going to try to basically, the more members I have, probably the better the giveaway will be, because that means I'll have a little more funds coming in to like support that giveaway. So that is the giveaway. So we're giving away hardcover Catwoman Lonely City and a copy of the first 2 issues of the 90s Jim Balance Catwoman run. So hopefully that's fun. So hopefully people like that. But yeah, so anybody that's channel members will be eligible for that giveaway, and I will either do that on next week's whatever report if it happens on time on Saturday, or I may just do a separate video like on the 30th or like sometime that week, or I may wait. If I don't get whatever report done, it may wait till the May 2nd whatever report. But I will do, like, if you remember in April, then you will, yeah. So I don't think anybody would roll over between like the 2nd and the thing. So So yeah, that's what's going on. I already mentioned that I was working on the Batwoman omnibus. We talked about my comic pickups and reads. We talked about Air of Fire. I'm enjoying that book series a lot. It's doing all I can not to just like tear through them and wait and discuss with John and Bearded. Although depending on, they were talking about going to a different book after this. So if they go somewhere else, I'm just going to start reading. I'm just going to read, and then I will go back and talk about them. But yeah, I don't think I will wait. If they decide they're going to wait, I'm probably going to just start reading those books. So I don't know what I'm going to read next. I want to get through. I haven't picked up a book since I finished Air Fire, like a novel book, because I had Fear Agent I read and talked about this last week, and then I wanted to get through 100 Bullets that we're going to talk about next week, the 2 volumes of 100 Bullets we're going to talk about next week. And then I wanted to start on this Batwoman Omni, and I'm probably going to try to finish it in the next couple of days. I don't know if I'll relatively soon, and then I will pick up another book. I don't know if I'll pick up Assassin's Blade or if I'll pick up something like a nonfiction. Probably depends on what I know about what we're going to do on our discussion with Air Fire on John's channel. But yeah, there will be reminder stuff coming up this week. There will be a Let's Collect come out this week, and there will be we will discuss 100 Bullets this week. And obviously, I will be with Marcus on Monday doing Cash or Trash. And there will be nothing. There will not be a D&D tomorrow night, so I should be able to finish up Cash or Trash probably tomorrow night. Then, and so maybe that'll come out Tuesday instead of Thursday. If I get that done tomorrow night, while we're not playing D&D, that's a possibility. So, giveaway Catwoman 51V. I don't know what that is. 51V. 51 Virgin. What issue is 50? I don't know which cover that is. I'm blanking. Oh, isn't that the Adam Hughes one? Yeah, no, I'm not giving away my Catwoman Adam Hughes cover. I'm not giving away my, I'm not quite that generous. So, you guys didn't get. I got to like $53. I got like $10 over what it cost me to pay StreamYard. I did not get enough to cover a book like that. Hey, if I had that many members, then if I had enough members to cover a book like that, then I might give away a book like that. But I got $10 more than it took to cover StreamYard in March. So yeah, so in April you guys are getting a relatively proportional, actually slightly more. You're coming out ahead. You're getting more than what I made over that. But yeah, with the hardcover and the 2 books. But what if I get 15, 20 members? Then I think I'm at like 14. If I get like 20 members, then we'll be starting to look at having enough that maybe we can give away a little bit, maybe give away a slab or something, like a low end stuff. FYI. Yeah. For my information, for your information, what is for my information? Yes, I know that. I have seen that. It's one of a couple of omnibuses coming later this year that I will probably be purchasing. Yes. I did actually, Alan, you're coming in late. I did actually, the other thing I did pick up, I had a couple of omnis come in this week. I had a couple more I ordered that didn't come in yet from Men's Secretaries. They haven't shipped yet, unless they shipped like today or yesterday. I did pick up Fables Volume 16, which was where Willingham and Buckingham went back to Fables after it was supposedly done, and they did like 12 more issues. So those are here. So at some point I will read those. I enjoyed that Fables series. I did pick up yeah, I know. They're going to be split in 2. They're going to do 2 of them. Which one would be Monster. So I'm okay. I think it's easier to take care of a book that's like this than it is to take care of like these ones that like this 100 Bullets thing here. So it actually be, yeah. It's going to be hard to redo the book with an incomplete. Yeah, it's going to be half the run, which means, and I would guess probably winter or next spring, they'll put out the second half. So it'll be 2 volumes. I'm okay with that. But yeah, I get it. Absolute would be easier to read. Absolutes are like even bigger though, but I get wanting to have the whole run. So I picked up. I've been wanting to get. I was hoping to find a Sensational She-Hulk Omni. It is currently out of print. This one was in print. I've read a little bit of She-Hulk, but not a ton. And I realized this is not really the version of the character that exists now, but I thought it would be fun to go back and read this like original, when she was a monster like Bruce, like Hulk is, instead of like what we get later. But I still if I ever see Sensational for a good value, that one's way higher on my list than this one was, but I did go on and grab this one. And then I grabbed the first half of the Kelly Thompson Captain Marvel run. Obviously, John and I read and talked about the 70s Claremont Miss Marvel run that we got. And then I got the Kelly Sue DeConnick omnibus. And so now I got part 1 of the Kelly Thompson one. They haven't printed part 2 yet. Hope they do. Otherwise, I will feel kind of silly for buying this. If I can't get part 2. But hopefully. So those were some other pickups this week. I went through my new comic books and those reads. So with that, looks like it's just Alan and I hanging out at the moment. It looks like there's a few other people, but nobody's really commenting in the chat. I'm going to finish this glass. Pour the last of this to sip on here after I go offline. So we killed this bottle of James Pepper, as we said we would. Not really on stream. DC, almost everything I'm reading is DC. I talked about it a little bit. Like I talked about Wonder Woman. I had like 4 weeks worth of books I talked about today because I didn't get to talk about last week, and they had been delayed coming. So I read and talked about 19. I talked about Absolute. I talked about Poison Ivy. I talked about Birds of Prey, Zatanna. Those were all really, really good from the last issues that I've gotten. Wonder Woman still is like above and beyond. I've talked about Hush. I finally read the first issue of Hush. It's a mess. Like it's just a mess. The art is good, but it's a mess. How do I decide to read trade paperbacks or floppies versus floppies? That's a good question. So basically, I'm trying to keep my collection for all intents and purposes, of floppies to what you see behind me. So I only have so much room. I'm pretty close to my limit within a box. I probably got room for about 2 short boxes worth of comics to put in there before I'm going to have to make some decisions again on what I keep and what I don't. I collect Nightwing. I collect Catwoman. I collect Batgirl stuff. I have historically always, when I've been collecting, I have always picked up Batman and Detective. I'm not trying to complete runs on those because they're not. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But I have been still buying those. I used to always buy ASM, and then they finally pissed me off enough that I stopped because I kind of collect it. Otherwise, if it's a big 2 book, I look for stuff that I have tried then to have another beyond that 5 or 6 things that I'm collecting and reading. I've kind of just decided to stick to big 2 stuff, which means right now I'm basically sticking to DC because I'm not really reading any Marvel stuff at the moment. And some of those come and go. I'll read them, and if I love it, I'll keep it. And if I don't, it ends up getting moved on the next time I have to make a purge. Indies, I've basically decided on I'm going to read via trade. That's just the way I'm going to handle indies. I don't have the room. I don't have, and I don't really need the single issues of most of those. And if I love an indie, I'll go back and get like an issue number 1 or something, or like a couple of key issues or a couple of key covers. I'll pick up a few that I love, but otherwise I'm just going to collect those trades. And if I really like them, I'll get like a hardcover and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm still buying raw grails or raws or slabs, depending on what I find the deal on in terms of like books that are on my like big book hunt list kind of thing. I'm not really collecting any older runs other than like the Nightwing, Catwoman kind of stuff. I may do, there's a couple other runs I'm thinking about maybe getting into now that I've gotten that one Nightwing run done. But so like older stuff that I want to go back and read, and if I can find it in print, then I have started. I didn't used to, but in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've started picking up comics. And like I've kind of really enjoy having these hardcover ones. Now I need to like, the one thing I haven't done, I've gotten a few Batman stuff. I've gotten several Wonder Womans. I've gotten a few odds and ends of different characters and stuff. I haven't been super strategic about my omnis just yet. Like I need to pick up like some Spider-Man stuff, like old Spider-Man stuff and that kind of stuff that I won't. So I've heard this. I have not read this new Ultimate Spidey series. I've heard a little bit of mixed reviews on it, but mostly good. I know there's like a trade out. I've debated on whether or not to get like the first trade, to wait and try to get a hardcover. I have not decided how I want to go about that yet. I may just buy the first trade and then see what I think, and then wait and try to get a hardcover or a big collected edition of like a bigger portion of the run. I don't know. Do the family picture. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, I need to read it. I want to read it. I want to support it because it's a book that although it's a book where they've let Peter grow up a little bit in that universe, at least. So that's nice. That's my biggest complaint about Marvel. And they just came out and said, like, when it comes to Spider-Man, they're like, well, Peter will never be like he can never get married. He can never be in a relationship. And it's like, okay, fine. But do you have to make him? Can he not grow up? Like they let him age, but they didn't let him grow up. And I've just become so frustrated with the fact that they just make him a fuck up. Like that they made him in the regular books. The reason I don't collect it anymore is because, and like after everything he's done, like that run with Zeb Wells just pissed me off from the get-go because it was like after everything he's done and the heroes he's been, like he does something that's not even that bad, and he gets no benefit of the doubt from any of the other heroes that he's built up all these relationships with. The fact that Johnny, everyone hates him because he does one thing that they're like, what? And they don't let him explain. They don't listen to him when he tries to explain. And like, and then he doesn't save Mary Jane, and then she just like, it's like, fuck you, and like ditches him for some other guy. It was just so horribly written. And it finally pissed me off that I got done. But it's basically that Pete is still acts like a teenager. But they made him like he's 30. It makes no sense. Either he grew up or he didn't. And if he hasn't learned anything by now, then he's an idiot. And he's not worth reading. It's so frustrating that I just can't. Yeah. So I probably should read Ultimate because I would probably enjoy it a lot more. Because I enjoy Pete. I love Pete. But this is not, the Pete that's currently in the comics is not, he was more mature and had his shit together better in the 90s than he does now. It's just ridiculous. Or in the 80s than he does now. It's so ridiculous. So anyway, all right, we're past the hour. I want to thank Alan for coming in and starting a little conversation with me here at the end. Appreciate it, my friend. So yeah, we're going to get out of here. I hope you guys have an enjoyable Easter tomorrow. And if you're getting together with family or anything like that, I hope you have a good time. And I think the weather here is going to be crap, but hopefully you're going to get a nice day wherever you are. And yeah, and we will find the outro and then we'll say it. Get the outro first. I'm going the wrong way as usual. All right, there it is. So now I can say, well, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and we will catch you next time. There.